How safe are we, when even doing everything right can still get you killed? You hear the shouts first. Get on the ground. On the ground. The video is shaky. A black man stands by the trunk of his car. His hands are up. He holds one thing. A cell phone. Seconds later, a single gunshot echoes through the night. 37-year-old Kane Lewis collapses. Dead. Killer cop fires on unarmed black man. The shocking case of Kane Lewis. It should have been simple. Comply. Follow orders. Stay alive. At least, that's what we're all told. But on the night of May 23, 2024, in Aurora, Colorado, that fragile belief shattered. Here's what we know. Police had been tracking Kane Lewis for weeks. A shooting earlier that month had left a bystander injured. The suspect? A passenger seen firing from a red Monte Carlo. The car's license plate? Blurred. Unreadable. Police had one lead. A tipster claimed Lewis drove a red Monte Carlo. DMV records confirmed he owned one. Was that proof he was involved? No. But police moved forward anyway. Aurora PD SWAT staged an arrest. May 23rd. Early evening. Body cameras rolling. Lewis arrives at his parked car. No gun. Just a phone in his hand. Suddenly, officers converge. Get on the ground. On the ground. Conflicting commands fly. One says hands up, another shouts on the ground. Lewis bends at the waist. His hands stay visible. He holds a cell phone. Then, Officer Michael Dack fires one shot. Lewis falls. 4 weeks, Aurora PD stays silent. No public statement. No clarification. Finally, nearly a month later, they admit. Lewis had been unarmed, holding only a cell phone. The city braces for outrage. But then comes this. There is no criminal liability on the part of Officer Michael Dack. District Attorney John Kellner. No charges. No trial. Just a dead man, and a grieving family. Lewis's family fights back. Exactly 1 year after the shooting, they file a wrongful death lawsuit against Aurora PD. They argue. Kane was simply holding his cell phone. His hands were up. He posed no threat. The suit highlights this disturbing fact. White right pointing backhand index. None of the other officers fired. Only Dack did. If Lewis was truly a threat, why didn't they shoot too? Aurora PD has a history. 2020, a black mother and her 3 children forced to the ground at gunpoint over a wrongly identified stolen car. 2019, Elijah McClain killed after a police stop for walking. A $15 million settlement followed. Now Lewis's family asks, how many more of us have to die before something changes? Here's the deeper horror. Lewis did what society tells black Americans to do when stopped by police. He didn't run. He didn't fight. He raised his hands. He bent to comply. And still, he was shot. What happens when even doing everything right isn't enough? The more you dig, the worse it gets. Let's start with Dack's defense. He claimed he perceived a threat. But in the slowed-down body cam footage, Lewis's hands are visible and empty. Dack fires within seconds of issuing commands. No warning shot. No escalation. Just lethal force. Inconsistency number 1. Dack claims Lewis ignored commands. The video shows Lewis actively complying with conflicting commands. Inconsistency number 2. Police claim probable cause based on the earlier shooting. But their only link? A blurred video and a tipster report. No direct evidence tied Lewis to the gunfire. Inconsistency number 3. The DA says no criminal liability. Yet other trained officers on the scene didn't perceive a threat. Why was Dack the only one to pull the trigger? The case was presented to a grand jury. But here's the catch, grand jury proceedings are secret. No public oversight. Prosecutors control the narrative. Critics say, if you want a case dismissed quietly, send it to a grand jury with a weak presentation. Was this justice, or a cover? Now, here's where everything shifts. We reviewed newly surfaced internal reports. One detail was buried. Officer Dack had a prior record. Multiple use of force complaints, including one in 2022 involving another black man falsely accused of resisting arrest. In that case, no gun was found. The man sued. Settlement? Confidential. No admission of guilt. But Dack remained on the force. No retraining. No discipline. Now he had killed. And just when you think this story can't get darker, another layer emerges. Sources close to the Lewis family tell us. Dack's body cam footage was allegedly edited. An original version exists, longer, showing officers discussing the blurred license plate before the raid began. They knew the evidence was thin. They went in anyway. A man is now dead. Was this incompetence, or something more sinister? The hidden body cam footage timeline. Whistleblower testimony about Aurora PD's raid planning. How systemic racism and secrecy intertwine to keep killer cops on the street. And one final twist. Dak may not be the only officer hiding the truth. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Justice matters. When justice fails in secret, who will speak the truth? You think you know the story. An unarmed black man. Shot by police while holding a cell phone. But what if I told you, there's another tape? And it shows something the public was never meant to see. Who edited the tape? Shocking new revelations in the Kane Lewis case. Let's walk through what the public knew, and when. May 23, 2024, Aurora PD shoots Kane Lewis. Initial police statement? Silent. Weeks of no comment. June 17, the truth leaks. Lewis was unarmed, holding a phone. Aurora PD scrambles to respond. July 1, the DA announces no criminal liability for Officer Michael Dak. Official justification? Dak perceived a threat. Case closed, legally. But not morally. Here's the footage that shattered public trust. Dak's body cam shows this. Lewis stands. Hands up. Phone visible. Multiple officers shout conflicting orders. Hands up. Get down. On the ground. Lewis bends at the waist, hands still visible. Dak fires. One shot. One life gone. But then comes this quote from the DA. Lewis was non-compliant and presented an imminent threat. Pause the video. Frame by frame. Lewis is actively complying, despite chaos. There is no weapon. There is no rush forward. There is no threat. Public outrage explodes. Why no charges? Because the case was sent to a grand jury, behind closed doors. No transcript. No public accountability. Prosecutors present the case however they choose. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story shocked you, like and subscribe to True Crime Series for more cases that expose the darkest corners of human nature. Sources say the DA downplayed the video inconsistencies in the presentation. And when the grand jury declined to indict, the DA had political cover. But the public saw something else. A system shielding its own. Now let's talk about the man behind the headline. Kane Lewis was 37. Father of two. Worked at a local auto shop. Active in his church. No criminal record for violence. A man, not a statistic. Here's the moment that haunts viewers. In the body cam footage, freeze frame at 3:41. Lewis's face is visible. Fear. Confusion. Determination to comply. He tries to live by the rules we're all told will keep us safe. And it isn't enough. 1 month after the shooting, Lewis's family finally saw the footage. Their reaction? Utter devastation. They held a vigil at Aurora City Hall. Then they filed a wrongful death lawsuit on the 1-year anniversary of his death. Visual. A blown-up photo of Lewis with his children. Another of him frozen in the footage, phone in hand, moments from death. This is what we lost, his sister said. Not just a life, a father, a brother, a son. Now here's where the timeline collapses under scrutiny. Aurora PD claimed officers feared an imminent threat. But internal documents leaked by a city source reveal this. Officers knew the Monte Carlo ID was weak. There was no direct link between Lewis and the earlier shooting. Officers discussed the shaky case before deploying. One officer's note. We probably should not do a full SWAT takedown on this intel. That note was never mentioned in the grand jury presentation. This is not an isolated case. 2019, Elijah McClain. Killed after a police stop for simply walking home. 2020, black mother and 4 children forced to the ground at gunpoint. Wrong car. 2022, Aurora PD settles a string of excessive force lawsuits, all involving black residents. Pattern? Absolutely. Aurora PD has paid over $20 million in settlements in 5 years. And Officer Dak? Previously cited for use of force violations. No meaningful discipline. Still promoted to SWAT operations. Now zoom out. We are told, if you comply, you will be safe. But Lewis complied, and was killed. The body cam shows command chaos. Hands up. Get down. On the ground. What is a black man supposed to do when every move risks death? This is the impossible perfect victim standard. And it is a standard Black Americans can never meet. The deeper horror? Public complicity. Police departments know. A bad shoot will trigger public outcry for a week. Then the news cycle moves on. No charges. No transparency. Just wait it out. Whoopsie clause activated. The officer feared for his life. No meaningful reform. And the cycle repeats. Now, the twist that changes everything. Sources close to the Lewis family's legal team say this. The body cam released publicly is edited. Specifically, the first 40 seconds, where officers discuss the target. Original version. Officers openly question whether they've ID'd the right car. One quote from the unedited footage. "Are we sure this is him? The plate's blurred." That segment is missing from the released version. A whistleblower from inside Aurora PD leaked a copy of the unedited video to the family's lawyers. What they found. Officers hesitating. A supervisor saying, "Let's move anyway, we can't hold off." No confirmation of Lewis as the shooter. They went in knowing their case was weak. And they deployed lethal force anyway. Now the family is preparing to release the unedited tape publicly. And there's more. An internal memo shows Officer Dak may not have fired on his own decision. A supervisor may have greenlit the aggressive approach. And here's the most explosive leak yet. A second officer allegedly told IA investigators. Dak was set up to take the shot. Was this truly a lone mistake, or was Dak made a pawn in a bigger cover-up? The unedited body cam tape in full. The whistleblower's secret memo. Evidence of a coordinated police cover-up, and a deeper conspiracy inside Aurora PD. And finally, the question tearing the city apart. Who ordered this raid to happen, knowing the evidence wasn't there? Stay tuned. Subscribe. Hit the bell. Demand the truth. How safe can you really be, when the system's designed to fail you? Just follow commands. That's what we're always told, right? Hands up. Stay calm. Obey. And you'll survive. But today, we're going to tear that belief apart. Because in the case of Kane Lewis, doing everything right, still got him killed. And now, new evidence has surfaced that shakes this case to its core. The DA is backpedaling. Aurora PD is scrambling. A second whistleblower has just come forward. So buckle in. Because this story isn't over, not even close. Let's start with the question you need to ask yourself. Was there any way Kane Lewis could have survived this encounter? On May 23, 2024, police descended on a parking lot in Aurora, Colorado. They were hunting a suspect from an earlier drive-by shooting. But there was no confirmed ID. No warrant for Lewis. He was sitting in a car. Phone in hand. Body cam footage shows this clearly. Officers shouting chaotic commands. Lewis raising his hands. Lewis holding the phone in plain sight. Then, a single shot. Fatal. So, could he have survived? Let's walk through what he was told. Hands up. He complied. Get down. He bent at the waist. On the ground. He was in the process of moving when shot. Officers gave conflicting commands at rapid speed. There was no physical way to comply with all of them. The system that was supposed to protect him gave him no chance. Now here's where the story broke open. The DA's office released its report. And in it? No criminal liability. Why? Lewis was non-compliant and presented an imminent threat. But when the public got access to the body cam video, it told a different story. Hands up. Phone clearly visible. No sudden movements. The DA's language collapsed under video evidence. Public outrage exploded. Now a new question hung in the air. If even clear video doesn't lead to charges, what will? At this point, many still thought this was just a tragic mistake. But digging deeper revealed something worse. A pattern. Aurora PD wasn't just an outlier this time. This is the same department responsible for Elijah McClain's death in 2019. Gunpoint detention of a black family in 2020. Multiple excessive force lawsuits settled quietly. And now this. Sources inside the department exposed that Aurora PD routinely bypasses full transparency. Secretive grand jury use? Standard playbook. It allows the DA to shape the narrative in closed doors, with no cross-examination, no public scrutiny. In the Lewis case? That's exactly what happened. Officers who disputed the threat perception were reportedly not even called to testify. Now the story looked different. Not an isolated tragedy, but part of an institutional pattern. Now here's where it gets devastating. New court filings revealed this. There was no probable cause to link Lewis to the prior shooting. The car's plate was blurred in surveillance. Color match was inconclusive. Witness ID was non-existent. Internal documents show officers knew this. One supervisor wrote, "Intel is weak. Proceed with caution." But they went in with SWAT-level aggression anyway. And then this bombshell. Other officers on scene did not fire. Their statements reveal, "I saw no weapon. He appeared to be complying. I held my fire intentionally." Dak, the shooter, claims subjective fear. But if other trained officers saw no threat, what justified this fatal shot? The official narrative collapsed. Timestamp, 9:30 to 11:30. Now the Lewis family is fighting back. Their wrongful death lawsuit pulls no punches. They accuse Aurora PD of systemic racism. They allege deliberate editing of public video. They demand full disclosure of internal memos. But this fight isn't just about one case. It's about the normalization of injustice. Because the public must ask, how do we stop the next Kane Lewis from happening? Compliance didn't save him. Transparency didn't happen. Accountability is still elusive. It's up to us to demand change louder than ever before. Now, are you ready for the twist? Just hours before this video dropped, a second whistleblower came forward. An internal IT specialist. They claim Aurora PD used proprietary video editing software on Dak's bodycam footage. Their shocking allegation? The version submitted to the grand jury was not the original export. Time-stamped metadata doesn't match. Key audio, including officers questioning the ID, appears scrubbed or muted. The Lewis family's lawyers now have digital forensics experts analyzing the file. If true, we're not just looking at a bad shoot. We're looking at a criminal cover-up. And it gets even deeper. The same software was used in at least 3 prior Aurora PD cases, including the one that cleared officers in the Elijah McClain case. The forensics report on the tampered footage. Internal emails that point to a coordinated editing effort. The identity of the second whistleblower, and the retaliation they're now facing. And finally, we'll confront the biggest question yet. If the justice system is this rigged, what happens next? Stay tuned. Subscribe. Demand the truth. How does a system designed to protect, destroy instead? Slow motion replay. A single frame from bodycam footage. Kane Lewis's hands. Raised. Open. Empty, except for a black phone. Freeze frame. Zoom in. Was this the face of danger? Or the face of a man who had no way to win? Today, we're taking you deeper than anyone has gone in this case. Because there's a moment, right here, that most people missed. The officer's crosshair lingers. Kane Lewis bends at the waist, as commanded. His left hand holds the phone, frozen, still, visible. His right hand is raised, palm out. 0.7 seconds pass. Then, the shot. Now here's the ethical question. What did the officer actually see? A weapon? No. Movement toward a weapon? None on video. Non-compliance? No, compliance in progress. Yet in that moment, the system collapsed. And a life ended. Now let's shift. Not body cam. Not the DA's spin. But the words of the people who lost him. On screen, text overlay from the Lewis family statement. My brother was a gentle man. He loved music. He loved his daughter. We raised him to do what police said. Now we can't raise him anymore. Framed photo of Kane, smiling, alive, human. At the 1-year anniversary of the lawsuit filing, that chair stayed empty. His daughter blew out her birthday candles with a photo of her father next to the cake. He was not just a moment in a video. He was a man. And no amount of legal parsing will bring him back. Now, let's talk facts. The DA claimed. Grand jury found no criminal liability. Officer perceived an imminent threat. But legal experts interviewed by our team disagree sharply. Professor Jordan Elias, Colorado Law. The use of secret grand juries allows DAS to present evidence selectively. The public gets no cross-examination, no record of omitted facts. On-screen quote from Aurora Sentinel editorial. Public trust cannot survive secret justice. Now look at the data. Aurora PD officers disciplined for misconduct, 3x state average. Aurora PD lawsuit settled since 2018, $15.3 million. Incidents involving fatal use of force on black residents, disproportionate to population by 6x. One of those cases? Elijah McClain. The connection is chilling. Same city. Same department. Same failure to hold officers accountable. Now let's step back. We are told, comply and you'll be safe. But in this case, officers shouted, hands up, down on the ground, face away. All within 3.2 seconds. It is physically impossible to comply with that barrage. So when people say he should have complied, the evidence says he was trying. Now ask yourself, if you, your son, your brother, were in that car, could you have survived those 3.2 seconds? And here's the deeper truth. No human life is worth less than institutional convenience. But when police culture prizes split-second domination over human assessment, lives are lost. Now here comes the part no one expected. We obtained leaked internal emails from Aurora PD IT staff. They reference a tool called VideoGuard Pro. That tool allows editing of timecodes and audio layers in bodycam footage. And here's where it explodes. The bodycam file submitted to the grand jury had no officer-to-officer chatter in the seconds before the shot. But in the original full export, obtained via subpoena, officers can be heard saying, "Wrong guy maybe? No weapon visible." That audio was missing from the grand jury version. Here's the chain. May 24th full file exported. May 26th file edited. May 28th edited version entered into grand jury exhibit. Internal email. Make sure the version is clean, no chatter that muddies threat perception. Who wrote that email? A supervisor named Lieutenant Gregory Vance. Who was on scene that night? Lieutenant Gregory Vance. Now we understand why the DA's case collapsed under public scrutiny. They weren't showing the public, or even the grand jury, the full truth. So here we are. A man complied. A man was shot anyway. The system tried to cover its tracks. And yet, the truth is emerging. But the bigger question remains. How many other cases look like this? How many other families sit with an empty chair, and no justice? How many more times will we be told just comply, when compliance is not enough? Let's be clear. No perfect victim standard can excuse injustice. No badge excuses false narratives. No system should tolerate this pattern. It's on all of us to say, this ends here. This ends now. We are watching. #Justice for Kane Lewis. Subscribe for more in-depth reporting. Demand accountability. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story shocked you, like and subscribe to True Crime Series for more cases that expose the darkest corners of human nature.